Hi guys, and welcome to my kitchen. It's nothing special. Today I'm going to be baking, and I'm going to do this soft spoken and whispered so that it's more personal. Like we're just hanging out in the kitchen because I feel like we all could use a friend right now. I'm going to be making my world-renowned, extremely famous chocolate chip cookies. These are vegan chocolate chip cookies. I've been vegan for a long time. Yeah, like 4 years, a little over 4 years. I don't look great, which is okay. I have these two tiny little pigtail braids because with the shampoo that I've been using lately, my hair has like no volume. It's just flat against my head and it drives me insane. So after my shower tonight, I put them in some tight little braids so that it would at least give it something. Yeah, I have myself a white wine here. It's so crazy. Like, there's even a tiny little bit of red wine left in here that's giving it a tint, but otherwise it's like totally clear. It's nuts. It's really yummy though. It is a sweet white wine. So, up first, I have 2 room temperature softened country crock plant butter sticks. And I prefer Earth Balance. I've never used these sticks to bake before. The thing is, I've always been a baker. I've always loved to bake. But once I went vegan, I quickly realized that it's kind of different. Like my outfit. It's kind of different baking without eggs and butter because baking is nothing more than a science, right? So when you switch up the science, it just makes it different. Not easier or harder necessarily, just different. So there might be some harsh sounds. I apologize if that's the case. But I've never done a cooking ASMR video before. So up first, you're going to cream together the butter and the sugars. I had 2 sticks of that butter, and then I used 2 different kinds of sugar. One is just white sugar, which I haven't had in my home in quite some time for no other reason than I just haven't used a lot. But I do have some Trader Joe's organic cane sugar, but that's not necessary. Dark brown sugar because I asked CJ, my fiance, to pick it up from the store. He said we really need brown sugar if you want cookies. So we got this. I typically use light brown sugar, but whatever a lot of people have this misconception that because it's vegan, it's healthy. That is so wrong. Is it healthier than a standard American diet? Yes. Because if you eat a vegan diet, you get 0 cholesterol, which is a big contributing factor in heart disease, which is the United States' #1 killer. I'm not a doctor, nor am I a scientist, nor am I a baker. I am just having fun. So, just gonna scrape the little bits off the spoon with a knife. And I'm gonna mix it kind of fast. I was seeing if I could do it slowly, but I can't, so. It's so aggressive. So, now it's just like a gorgeous, fluffy, whipped consistency. Whipped. So, cheers. And if you don't drink, please feel free to grab a coffee or a tea, a water. You should be drinking lots of water right now. Grab something, bond with me in this moment, and cheers to being in this together. I don't know when we're going to be out of this situation. It calls for a teaspoon of vanilla. But I'm just going to go like this. Vanilla extract. But if you're watching this sometime far in the future, away from this time period, right now we are in a strange pandemic situation, and it's just weird. We're all kind of stuck at home, and we don't really know what we're doing, so this is why I'm just kind of in a strange mood, all over the place. It is what it is, wearing this, looking like this. Yeah, I've been trying to do my best to get ready every day and put on makeup and look presentable. And I think I have every single day except yesterday and today, and it really has shown in my mood. I just don't feel as good. And since we're stuck at home, we can't do the things that we normally do for fun. Typically, I go to the gym for 2 hours every single day. I have my me time, I work out, I shower, I get away from my kid and my dog and my fiance, and I don't get to do that anymore. So now it's like, okay, I can't do that. I can't go to Target. I can't go to a thrift shop. I just have to figure something else out. So getting ready every day has really made a big difference. But it's just so strange. I knew how much the gym meant to me. I even told CJ before this lockdown thing happened, I told him, I was like, I'm going to the gym whether you want me to or not. I don't care what anybody says. I'm going to the gym. If I don't go to the gym, I will die. And number one, that's not true. Like, I won't die. But number two, it's like, I said that in the moment, but then the next day I was like, okay, I can't be selfish. I have to stay home, whether we're in an official like stay at home rule or not. And that was like 10 days ago or something. And we've only been in lockdown for 1 or 2 days. So yeah, I'm in Minnesota, United States, if you're wondering. But anyway, yeah, I didn't realize even in that moment where I was like, I'm gonna die if I don't go to the gym, like how much it really would affect me if I didn't. So yeah, so I just added some vanilla extract and some soy milk. It's just the plant milk that I have on hand. I've made this recipe with a lot of different kinds of milks, and it turns out the same no matter what. It's so loud, guys. I'm gonna try to do this all the way through with no edits. Super harsh. I'm sorry. I'm hoping you're not watching this to relax, you're just watching this for some interaction. Yes, that is what I'm filming it for some interaction. Okay, so then I've just got my recipe up here. So then after doing that, you're going to add the flour, salt, and baking soda. I've seen in a lot of recipes, you like add the flour, salt, and baking soda to a separate bowl and mix it together. And then you add it. This one doesn't call for that, so this is just baking soda, baking soda, baking soda. And you want to do 1 teaspoon. And I know that there are some nerds like me who are probably wondering where I got these from. And they're the Pioneer Woman brand from Walmart. I got them years and years ago. Alright, so that is in, and then 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I'm just gonna go like this. I've actually found the joy. Found the joy and appreciation in saltiness in my desserts. Like if I'm biting into a cookie, sometimes I'll try to like really pinpoint every flavor, like, oh, okay, I taste the peanut butter, I taste the sugar, I taste the vanilla, I taste the salt. And I find that the cookies, when I really can like take a bite, let it sit, chew it in my mouth, and I can taste the saltiness, it's a good cookie. Especially with chocolate chip cookies, there's just something about a little bit of saltiness. Just a little bit of saltiness. Then I have some all-purpose flour. And it's going to be 2 1/4 cups. Don't kill me for how I measure this. Solution to that is, in the title I'm going to put ASMR, question mark, and then the 1/4 cup too. Forget about that. And I have, number 1, not left my house, and number 2, I washed my hands get sick, they're all going down because I take care of every single person in this house. I cook all their meals, do everything for everyone. So, yeah. I'm not super concerned with myself getting it, because I am not compromised in my immunity. I actually think I have a really good immune system, super healthy, and I'm very blessed in that way. And also, I've just been very cautious, you know, so I'm not super concerned about myself. And I saw a post today, I shared it on Instagram in my story, but I want to share it with you guys too because it does matter. Funny enough, I watch a lot of anti-MLM videos on YouTube. Don't even ask me why. I don't know. It's not like I hate MLMs, multi-level marketing, like network marketing companies, Mary Kay, that kind of thing. But I've just found it really interesting to watch this anti-MLM community. Fascinating. And a lot of them are like, okay, so this is a really strange tangent, but a lot of multi-level marketing companies offer trips to like the Bahamas or something, where if you reach a certain rank in the company, you get to go on this all expense paid trip with your husband or whatever. But you have to pay for airfare, is what I've gathered. And a lot of those trips, almost all of them, were canceled because of the coronavirus. And they're like crying on their Instagram stories saying like, oh, I'm so sad that my trip with all my boss babes is canceled. And these anti-MLM girls are like, well, there are so many more important things in the world, like people are dying, this is serious, you shouldn't be concerned about your trip. And I've actually disagreed with that quite a bit because maybe I'm biased because myself, I had to cancel a trip. My trip was to Mexico. I've worked really, really hard to pay for that trip. I have saved up a lot of money, and I know it's dumb because like I've got a lot of other things to pay for, a lot of debt to pay off and things like that, but I've just been going crazy, you guys, like staying here at home, and I have always been a person who loves to travel. I've always been a person who loves to travel, and I've always said like I would rather be dirt poor and be able to travel the world than to have tons of money and stay at home in a nice house, you know. But that's just me. And so I worked really hard, not only to save money to pay off my debt, which I'm still doing, but also to go on this trip. And it was a birthday present surprise for CJ. I booked the whole thing, booked everything. I booked the airfare, the resort. I talked to his mom about babysitting. I like organized everything. I even organized, like I booked the trip, the taxi from the airport to the resort already. Like I did everything. And we had to cancel that. And they sent us a message saying that they had to cancel our trip, but oh, don't worry, we won't charge you for a cancellation fee. Thanks, guys. We didn't cancel it, so you shouldn't. They never said anything about refunding our money, so we still haven't gotten the nearly $2,000 that I have paid back, not only from the resort, but also the airline. And from what I've heard from other people, we are not going to get that money back. If we are lucky, we will get like a travel voucher for the airline. we're dealing with that. And then CJ also had a trip for his best friend's bachelor party. They had a cruise booked, and the cruise is being super picky, and they're like, oh yeah, we're not going to cancel your trip, we're not going to refund you, and we're not going to pause payments for you because it's not canceled yet. Like, you're canceling the cruise if you cancel right now. It's in the first couple of weeks of June. Like, that's a month and a half away. Or May. Okay, it's like 2.5 months away. But still, we're on lockdown for a minimum 1.5 more months. Like, I don't know. They're just being really picky. So anyway, what I'm trying to say is that we've had to cancel not one but 2 trips that we've worked really hard for. And so yeah, basically where I'm going with that, let me just add the chocolate chips quick. Going with that is, maybe I'm biased, but I feel like we should be able to grieve the loss of our trips, the loss of things that we've had to cancel. CJ's cousin has had to push back her wedding, and she is not the only one that we've known who has had to cancel or push back their wedding. A lot of people have had to cancel birthday parties, their children's first birthday parties, or their 21st birthday party, or even any birthday is important, not just like, you know, a special monumental one, but all birthdays are so important. And I just feel so badly for people who have to cancel their special events, and I feel like you should have every right to grieve those things and to be like, yeah, you know what, this really, really sucks. And I don't want anybody to tell you differently. If there's something that's happening right now that you're really upset about, that you can't attend or that you can't do or that is different, feel that. That's okay. So anyway, I love this. I've got CJ's like big shirt tucked in, so it's all like baggy and big. Never looked better in a YouTube video. So I'm just going to, pull up these cookies, but I'm gonna flatten them out on the pan, because if you don't flatten them out, they can get really cakey, which some people might like. CJ and I do not. At all. We do not like a cakey cookie. So, but aside from the stuff that coronavirus has canceled or ruined for us, it has also allowed me to connect with my friends more. Typically, I would only see like a friend once a week, twice a week. But with everything that's been going on and us feeling this need to like get out and hang out with our friends, just leave the house for a minute, we've been FaceTiming and like doing Zoom calls and things like that with a bunch of people that I like normally would not see very often. So it's just really cool. Yeah, that's been nice. And then I have also been able to like film more and stuff, so it's just been, there have been some good things. Getting creative with dinners and stuff. really also just appreciating, point blank, just appreciating what we do have and the stuff that we normally take for granted, like going to the gym. Every day. Just gonna wash my hands quick. This is going to be more like a podcast, I guess. An ASMR-ish podcast. So, here are the cookies. That's funny. I'm going to set a timer on there. I will just be mindful of the clock here. It is 27 minutes now that I've been recording, and they should be in there for like 8 to 10 minutes. And what you want is for them to be slightly undercooked. So then after you take them out, you let them sit on the pan for a while and like harden up and continue to cook just a little bit, because I like my cookies kind of gooey on the inside. So 27 minutes, that means 8 minutes from now will be 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. So when I've been recording for 35 minutes, I will check on them again. So anyway, you can use any dairy-free chocolate chips that you want. There are some, Enjoy Life is a really popular brand. You can also use like baking chocolate, the bars of baking chocolate, and just cut up one of the semi-sweet ones. You could use a bar of vegan, like dairy-free chocolate. My favorite, I just featured it in a video. One sec. Where is it? This is one of my favorite accidentally vegan chocolates. So you could like cut this up into little squares. And on the bottom it says may contain milk and tree nuts. And that does not mean that it contains milk. It means that it is produced on the same equipment in the same facility that does use milk. Right, one second. I had a tickle in my throat. So, if Silk made soy milk and dairy milk in the same facility, then there is a risk of cross-contamination. So if you are like severely allergic to dairy, you would want to stay away from it if it says may contain milk, because there may be traces of it that could give you a reaction. I'm not allergic, so it doesn't matter, right? I chose today to use these Simply Balanced Organic Semi-Sweet Chocolate Chips. And the ingredients are organic cane sugar, organic unsweetened, unsweetened chocolate, organic cocoa butter, organic natural vanilla extract, and it says may contain milk, but it doesn't. The other chocolate chips I got is another store brand, Wild Harvest Organic Belgian Semi-Sweet Chocolate Chips. And it's organic sugar, organic chocolate liquor, organic cocoa butter, and organic vanilla powder. May contain milk. there is a Nestle vegan chocolate, and I think it's like Nestle Simple chocolate chips. I don't know. But it has like 3 ingredients, so it's free from all of the 8 top allergens, and those happen to be vegan as well. And I just find that the store brands that you can find that are accidentally vegan are so much less expensive than the ones that say vegan on the package. Like the Enjoy Life ones, for a bag this big, it'll be like literally $7. But for this bag, it was like $3 or $3.50. So yeah, it's just different things that you learn through the years, you know. And I've gone through so many phases with my veganism and my journey with it. I've gone through so many different personalities when it comes to that lifestyle. When you first do it, it's as if I mean, everyone's different, but for me it was as if I like knew this big secret that no one else knew. And not only did nobody else know the secret, it was like they thought that I was lying, thought that I was wrong, that they didn't want to know. And so I would be like, no, look at the slaughterhouse footage or whatever. And people would be like, I don't want to see that. It'll ruin my bacon or whatever. And I would be like, what don't they get? It felt like I was in the Twilight Zone, you know? But then, after that, it took years for that to really kind of go away. And sometimes that feeling will still come out, and I'll still feel so frustrated and so confused, and feel like everyone else is wearing a blindfold and I'm not. But then most of the time now, I'm pretty chill about it. I don't shame people anymore. I don't judge other people for not eating the way I do. I feel like everybody is on their own journey for helping the planet and the animals and themselves. And some people will never get there, and that's okay. And all I can do is share my own favorite foods, my own favorite recipes, and yeah, it doesn't have to be so serious. It doesn't have to be so strict and so judgy. It really doesn't. There are things that really bother me, like fur. When people wear fur, secondhand fur, I don't really care so much about. I personally don't choose to. Like if you get it at a thrift store or something, that's one thing, because it's already been purchased. You're not like contributing to it anymore. But if people like literally go out to a store and buy a fur coat, I'm like, are you nuts? Like that bugs me. But like food, you eat what you're gonna eat. I would love for you to try these cookies. I will link them, not link them, but like I'll put the ingredients in the description box. And they are really picky cookies. Like I said, sometimes they'll turn out super cakey, and it's pretty much like a 50-50 chance that I'll like them. Now, like it's probably like an 85% chance now that I'll make them correctly, but sometimes I don't know what I do. I just make them wrong. And they just turn out still good, but like good in a muffin kind of way, if that makes sense. So yeah, they're really picky if you don't use like the exact measurements of everything. Best of luck to you. And like I've never tried them with real butter or real milk or anything like that, so if you try that and it works, that's great. But if not, just try a different recipe, you know. Okay, it's been 8 minutes, as you guys can see. I'm going to try to take them out and see what happens. I want to say I'm sorry for how I look, but like honestly, you probably look like this too if you're watching this right now. Like if you're getting ready for bed, you probably aren't like super dressed up and bougie, so at least I hope not. I hope that not every single person watching this is like, wow, she looks like a toe and I look like a 10. But anyway, let me just... We will leave them in there for another minute or two. I put them too close together and made them way too big, so they kind of like melted together, but that's okay. Yeah, normally I make them really small because I like having like a bunch of really little cookies, but this time I didn't want to make them small. I wanted to make like big monster cookies. I'm not really sure why. It's just that kind of time to be alive, I guess. But yeah, these cookies are always the biggest hit at every single party we go to. There are two things that I make that, excuse me, people just love. One of them, these cookies. They're gone. Like, if we want any of these cookies, we have to leave them at home, like leave 5 or so at home, because if we bring them to the party, there's not even going to be a crumb left. People just love these cookies. And then the other thing is pasta salad, which I think is a Midwestern thing, but I put a bunch of different noodles in. I cook them, put them in a big bowl. I cut up some fresh carrots. I sometimes will put garbanzo beans in there. I put frozen peas, frozen corn. I will add, what else do I add? Mayo, vegan mayo from Hellmann's. I will put in a bunch of that, like some ranch style seasoning, dill, chives if I have it, and I'll just mix it all together and let it sit in the fridge for like a day. And then after that, I will add more mayo to it and mix it up and make it all gooey. And it's so creamy and so good. And people just love it. It's like, it's another one of those things where there will not be any left. So, yeah, and I'll usually use like a bunch of different kinds of noodles. So if I have a little bit of noodles in a couple different boxes, I'll just use all of them. Sometimes it'll be like spiral noodles. Other times it'll be not like spaghetti or anything, but little like shells, pasta shells, or it depends on what I have on hand. But yeah, really tasty. I also make killer mashed potatoes, and I make pretty good biscuits as well. I just made those a little bit before this. This is my cookbook with all of my tried and true recipes. I have the cookies, the biscuits, coconut cream pie bars. That's all I have. I would have the pasta salad in there, but I never measure anything out. That's the only tricky part. Like, the recipes that I have in there, I really had to like narrow down what I put in, because I always just like throw it together. So, oh, better get the cookies out. Now I'll let them sit for a little bit. But yeah, I always just like throw it together. It's a mishmash of different, like adding a little this, a little of that until it's good. Which is why it's kind of tough to write stuff down, because it's like, well, I have to be there. I don't know how much to put in. So yeah. I just remembered I wanted to add some nuts to these cookies. Of walnuts. So I'm just gonna cut them up here. add it to the second round. Normally I would chop them up, but you guys are here, so I don't want to like do all that. Yeah, I will take the cookies off in a minute and then I will wrap this video up. But I just want to say thank you for watching, and I genuinely hope that you and your loved ones are well, physically and mentally, and that this is over soon for all of us, for all of our sakes. And if you have not been the best version of yourself in any way or every way during this strange quarantine social distancing thing, then that is okay. I personally have been on my phone way more, just scrolling, like mindlessly scrolling, doing nothing productive, like not even caring about what I'm looking at or paying attention to it, literally just scrolling. And that is not chill with me. That's not cool. I don't like to do that. I don't like to be that person. But it's just weird times, man. I've had a much shorter temper with my fiance, which is saying a lot because I'm always so like not nice. I'm working on that, trust me. I've been way shorter with my daughter, and she's only 1. Like, she'll do something and I'll be like, stop it. Just different things that I'm glad that she's too young to remember me like yelling about, because I don't want her to remember her mom as like being this yelly biatch. So anyway, one thing it's weird, like we moved into this house 3 years ago, over 3 years ago, and we still don't have so many basic necessities because we've just found ways to do without. And I'm so cheap that I'm like, we don't need that. Like, we don't have a toaster, you guys, because when we first moved in we didn't have a toaster, and I got so used to toasting bread and bagels and things on a small flat pan on the stove that now I'm like, well, why should we buy a toaster when I can just as easily toast everything on this pan? And like, CJ finally broke me down and got a pizza cutter yesterday because I was like, why should we get a pizza cutter? It was like $1, but I was like, why do we need that? We've been cutting just fine with a knife for 3 years. So many little things that we just don't have. It's just funny. Oh, and one of them is a cookie rack, like a wire rack for cooling cookies and muffins and things. We don't have that, so make do. That's what I do with these cookies. When I take them off the pan, I just make do. But still a little undercooked. I'm probably gonna pop them back in for another minute just so they stick together more. Oh, but honey, these are so good. Oh wow, I wish you could try a bite. Let's pretend you can. Okay. Take a bite. That was good. Sorry about my shaky hands. over. Thank you guys for watching. I know this wasn't the most tingly or relaxing video, but I hope that you were kept company in some way like I was. I've been telling my fiance I was going to make him these cookies for 10 days now, and I still haven't, for no other reason than I've just been lazy, and it's just a weird time, you know. Every night I'm like, I'll make him these cookies, and then nighttime comes and I'm like, or I could just sit here on the couch. So this way I got to be productive in more ways than one, so thank you. Thanks for keeping me company instead of me just watching random videos on the internet. Like, anti-MLM, I'm not even anti-MLM. I'm just bored. So that's what I've been watching. If you're in a multi-level marketing company, please don't be offended. I've been in two. And I think that they're a good option if you are a stay-at-home mom or want to support your family. I don't have a bone to pick with people in multi-level marketing companies. It's just something to watch. So it switches up from the true crime and the ASMR, that's for sure. Anyway, guys, thank you. I will talk to you very soon, and I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful day or night, and that you're gentle with yourself and with the people around you. Good night, guys. Good night.